me try to get myself organized here. See if you guys are there. I see Carol here. Good morning, Carol. It's not showing up as live on my thing yet. It always takes a second to like start working through. I'm seeing if anyone else is here. Okay. Is it working? Are you guys here? All right. I think we are good to go. Good morning to Carol. Good morning to everyone else that is watching. I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today is a Take 10 day where we take 10 minutes to get creative, to have fun, to just play with some art journaling techniques, with some new supplies, things like that. This is my Take 10 journal. And my Take 10 journal, this is my newer one that I just recently started. It is a journal that is not meant for a finished product. It is meant for playtime and just to experiment. And sometimes I think we have to give ourselves permission to play and to not worry about what the final product will be, and just play and have fun. Good morning, Missy. And it feels good. This has been a crazy busy week for me. If you didn't check it out, I got my first Happy Planner squad box, which was super exciting, and I loved it. And there was a ton of work to do once the squad box arrived, and it's just been a little bit of a frantic week, and so it's fun to just start playing. You know what I mean? Good morning, Amanda, and good morning, Peggy. So today in Take 10, we are going to do one of my favorite techniques, and it is called the napkin technique. So I have a lovely collection of napkins right here that I have used. Oh geez, I've just collected these for a while. Oh, this one will be fun to play. We're going to play with that one a little bit. Napkin technique is a great technique to use in your journaling because the napkins kind of like fade into the page. I know those don't go together. Don't worry, friends. And it's just fun to collect napkins. My mom thinks I'm crazy because she always has like themed napkins. And so every time I go to her house, I like grab one of her napkins and save it. There's beautiful napkins everywhere. Tuesday morning is a great place to get them. Home Goods as well. Love, love, love the napkin technique. So let me show you. We'll probably pull a few of these. Great for collaging. All right. I am going to get my tools all set because I know 10 minutes goes fast. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning, Lamia. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, good morning, Carol. I saw you. I see you. Okay, I'm seeing everybody now. Okay, I got my stuff. For this technique, you need some gorgeous napkins. You need gesso, which I have right here. This is clear gesso, or matte gel medium will work. I have found that using one of these little picks, yes, it'll work with tissue paper too, Christina. She asked, does this work with tissue paper if you don't happen to have a pretty napkin? Yes, it totally does. This pick helps if you're using a napkin especially. Got my paintbrush. All right, let's set a timer and let's get going. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with this one, and what I'm going to do, I probably should have grabbed some scissors, but that's okay. I'm just ripping along the edge. You guys, if you've been here long, you know I'm always a fan of ripping, and especially when you are doing this technique, it tends to look more natural, if that makes sense. More like you didn't just put it on there. Okay, now with napkins mostly have multiple ply. Like when you get your I call them fancy napkins. So you want to pull off the excess. And sometimes, like in this case, there's a lot. This one has, I believe, multiple. This is a very fancy napkin. So I have multiple layers. Now look at this. This one actually still has some color on it. So that's kind of cool. And then we have the main one, which was this way. I wonder which one's darker. This We'll go with that. And then this is our main one right there. Now, it's super fun because it's gonna look like you did the artwork. Oh, thanks, Carol. Carol says I'm good at cutting. I'll show you another tip in just a second for, oops, I don't want water. Another tip for cutting where you want to cut in just a second. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is put gesso down on your page. It doesn't have to be a super thick coat or anything. Just down like that. And then I'm actually gonna have that a little bit wonky. Put your napkin on top and then go over the edge. And you guys, look how the edges like disappear onto the paper. It is the coolest thing. You want to be gentle because again, you're working with something very thin. So I've definitely torn them before because once they're wet, especially, they are super delicate. You can do this with tissue paper. Tissue paper is sometimes, it depends on the tissue paper. Sometimes you get, like I call fancy tissue paper that is a little bit thicker, so it might have a little bit more of an edge. If you have something, a napkin that's on white like this, that is gonna be the most successful. So now I'm gonna like layer these a little bit. Let's put this one right. I think that's pretty. And they're gonna just layer on top of each other and see how it just kind of, I think it just like melts into it. Not literally melts, but you know what I mean. And I think it's so pretty and such an easy way to add something to your art journaling page, to a Bible page, to any kind of page you're working on. And you guys, like, it looks like I painted that on or drew it on. That is so pretty. I could do a whole page, so I have the rest of that napkin. I could cut out another one. We might do that in a minute. Let me show you. We're gonna let that sit for a second. Let's take this one. So this particular napkin has the black background. Let's see how it does. I'm gonna grab a different brush, and if you are wanting just some of the images, so like say I just want this one and I don't want to cut and I'm afraid I'm going to tear it, I just come in with water and you just paint with water a line around the image you're interested in. Let it soak in for a second, and then it's going to tear along that line super easily. It went, okay, now I said that and of course it went awry. There's my water line. That's okay. So it'll tear much easier around where the water is. So that will work nicely. This one is multiple ply, so I'm going to use my little pick right here to take one layer. And let's see, this one might have, you never know if it has 2 or 3. This one has a 3rd layer. I can see it coming. It's just starting to release. So I'm going to pull that right there. And I wonder if it has the imprint, which I thought was pretty cool. Tore a little bit right there, but I'm not especially worried about it. Okay, so that's super pretty. Let's pick another flower out of here. Let's aim for this one, you guys. Let's see how we do. So this particular napkin has a little bit of a waxy feel to the front. So the water isn't soaking quite as I like. So yes, I collect a lot of napkins. There's a lot of groups online that do like napkin swaps, because obviously you buy a set of napkins and you get like 20 or so in a pack. You probably don't, if you're using them for art purposes, you may not want 20 of the same design. And so it's fun to swap with friends, with other crafters, so that you can try some different designs and it can be a really great jumping off point, especially for a page. I know so many people are intimidated. They say, I can't draw. I can't paint flowers like that, but you can still create. That's the point. Like, don't think that being creative only looks like one thing. It looks like a lot of different things. So I'm pulling off the plies on this one. I see people saying, yeah, a lot of times there's a third layer. Peggy said she didn't know about the third layer. If you buy the fancy napkins. Now I'll show you. I did a video for my Scrappy YouTube members this week. And I used some vintage napkins. Let's place these down on the page. I guess we'll put them over here. I'll layer them up a little bit. This one will be all over the place. Those colors don't necessarily go, I know, but we're just playing with the technique. Remember, we're not worried about a finished product here. We're playing with the technique. So I did a video for my Scrappy YouTube members, and I used some vintage napkins that I have been hoarding like crazy. My friend Mandy at church found them and shared them with me, and I literally, guys, have had them for like 2 years, and I've been scared to use them. So I totally dig that torn edge right there. So you have some napkins, like look at this, you guys. This is a vintage Christmas napkin. It's only 1 ply, but how beautiful. I got some more. Look at this one. It's so pretty. So I'm trying to use them and not hoard them, because hoarding is not good, but it's my tendency. All right, I'm gonna do this flower right here. We'll kind of tuck around the edge. Oh, that's pretty. And this one's already kind of fallen apart. It would be perfect. Some of those vintage pieces would be perfect for the background. Look at those plies just coming apart. I'm gonna put that one up there. I kind of dig that shadow. I think that is a cool effect. So if you do have multiple plies to yours, check for the shadow. I don't mind when I put mine down if there are wrinkles in it. So some people like to do it as flat as possible. I kind of dig the texture. For sure. That is pretty. Let's do another corner piece. So how about, I'm gonna do a bigger piece. We're just gonna tear and aim for this corner piece down here. How is everybody doing today? Let me know. It's kind of a gray day here in the Northern Virginia area. And like I said, it's been a hectic week, and the weather is making me not want to be productive, but I need to be productive and get some videos out for you guys today. Here we go. And the kiddos start all of their sports games this afternoon. They've had practices this weekend. They've had practices and things, but not all out games. Alexa, stop. So it's kind of like, I know a busy weekend is coming. You like them together? Peggy likes these napkins together. So Peggy, I totally think these could go together. As I think this is a good starting off point. I think what you do in between, what you're gonna do like to connect the two, I think that would make a big difference in this one. Bold colors. So anyway, we are gearing up for a busy weekend after a busy week, and so it's kind of making me want to just sit and chill today, but that won't really work. All right, there. So you guys see, that is like 10 minutes, and I'm like well on my way to an art journaling page right there. Just think of how you could do some paint, you could do some journaling in between. I think that is such a fun way. It's easy. Yes, it's not like an advanced technique, but we don't always have to do like crazy things. Simple things are beautiful as well. And sometimes we're so busy trying to reinvent the wheel or do something super amazing and complicated that we forget. Just art can be simple and beautiful as well. All right, you guys. That'll be it for Take 10 today. We are not going to have Take 10 next week because my kids have school off that day. So I will see you in 2 weeks and we will be back. We'll be back. Carol's asking how long it takes to dry. It takes, I don't know. I'd probably leave it for a good 10 minutes. You can use your heat tool if you want to dry it a little bit faster, but definitely let it dry all the way before you start painting or writing or anything over the top of it. See, and it doesn't like bleed. This is good paper from Archer and Olive. Okay. That is going to be it for me. I have links in the description box if you are interested in checking out like gesso and the paintbrushes and things like that. Go searching for some cool napkins and let me know where you find them. I would love to hear that. A huge shout out to my Scrappy YouTube members. You see their names in green there in the chat box. Thank you so much for your support. It really does mean a lot and it really does help me be able to continue putting out videos on a regular basis. So thank you so much. I hope that you all have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.